Hello, I welcome you all to a discussion on healing perspectives from science and religion, an anthropological view. I have divided my lecture into 8 sections. They are firstly, understanding the meaning of spirituality, healing and science. Secondly, the aura system. Thirdly, the scientific study on Reiki. Fourthly, the science of homotherapy. Fifthly, what we mean by medical anthropology. Sixthly, explanation of illness in anthropology. Seventhly, nosology of Subanun Dembu Western society. And lastly, theories on ritual healing, which will be followed by a conclusion. Spirituality can be seen as any kind of meaningful activity or blissful experience of the individuals. It is subjective in nature. Looking deeply into the origin of the word spirituality, one can find that the term spirit means animating or vital principle in man or animals, which is derived from the old French esprit, which comes from the Latin word spiritus, which means soul, courage, vigor, breath. The term spiritual matters concerning the spirit. Spirituality is therefore a philosophy and personalized system of principles and beliefs. It is universal, yet is customizable. An integral part of spirituality is the idea that everyone can connect with and become one with the energy in the universe and all of its mysteries. This experience can happen to anyone, regardless of nationality or whether or not they are religious or an atheist. Gaining a sense of true spirituality can take place at any time in life. It deeply affects lives and allows for the development of an even stronger sense that one's life matters and that it is worth living. Let us now build a good amount of knowledge on what is healing. Healing is an intensely personal subjective experience involving a reconciliation of the meaning an individual ascribes to distressing events with his or her perception of wholeness as a person. If we delve deeply into the matter, then we can see that healing is a spiritual course of action that attends to the comprehensiveness of an individual. It emerges over time and continues throughout the individual's journey of life. Spiritual healing leads to the preservation of health, emphasizing meditation, specific movements of the body, so that the physical condition of the individual is restored to its normal state. If we represent with diagram the benefits of spiritual healing to an individual, then we can find that spiritual healing provides men with the means to survive. That is, it provides the people with the zeal to fend for his physiological needs. It provides him with safety and assurances from within. All his inner tensions and worries are washed away by spiritual healing. It makes man more social in nature. That is, it rejuvenates all his social bonds in the society. Spiritual healing promotes self-esteem of an individual as it provides him with confidence and respect of others. Lastly, spiritual healing strives for self-actualization, that is morality, creativity, and acceptance within an individual. Therefore, it can be presumed by us that healing is an overall connection of body, mind, spirit. Numerous studies noted that neuroscientists have examined how the brain functions during reported spiritual experiences, finding that certain neurotransmitters and specific areas of the brain are involved. Experimenters have also successfully induced spiritual experiences in individuals by administering psychoactive agents known to elicit euphoria and perceptual distortions. In keeping with the growing scientific interest in spirituality and complementary and alternative treatments, prayer has garnered particular attention among some behavioral scientists. Thus, the role of spirituality and healing are scientifically proved to be effective tools to promote a healthy lifestyle among the human beings. And it is indeed proved that mental well-being leads to physical well-being. The human energy field is a manifestation of the universal energy that is intimately involved with human life. It can be described as a luminous body that surrounds and interpenetrates the physical body, emits its own characteristic radiation, and is usually called the aura. The auric field is a quantum leap deeper into our personality than is our physical body. It is at this level of our being that our psychological processes take place. The human energy field is the vehicle for all psychosomatic reactions. The physical body arises out of the energy field. Thus, an imbalance or distortion in this field will eventually cause a disease in the physical body that it governs. The human energy field is composed of an infinite number of levels. We focus primarily on the 7 lower levels throughout the 4-year course of study in Brennan Healing Science. Each level penetrates through the body and extends outward from the skin. Each successive level is of a higher frequency or a higher octave. Each extends out from the skin several inches farther than the one within it of lower frequency. The odd-numbered levels are structured fields of standing, scintillating light beams. The 1st, 3rd, 5th and 7th levels of this field are structured in a specific form. The even-numbered levels, that is the 2nd, 4th and 6th, are filled with formless substance or energy. Therefore, healing distortions in the field will bring about healing in the physical body. One of the viable healing systems that are present in the modern century is Reiki. It promotes wellness and maintains a balance throughout the body of the human beings. It creates a perfect balance among body, mind and spirit. It is regarded as a self-care practice. The technique has originated from Japan, where hands-on technique was used for stress reduction and to promote relaxation in the human body. People who trust in the functions of Reiki maintain the belief that the universe is made up of energy, which is regarded as the life force energy. It is this energy that flows down the entire human body and nourishes the glands, cells, as well as different organs present in the human anatomy. Human beings also radiate a similar energy, which leads to the creation of human energy field. People feel discomfort, stressed and ill when the human energy field is disturbed, imbalanced or even disturbed due to certain reasons. Reiki restores the energy within the human body, thereby creating a perfect balance among body, mind, spirit. It was in 1930 that Dr. Harold Burr did a research from Yale where it was proclaimed that the human body has an energy field. Illness can be detected in this energy field first before the symptoms of the disease starts affecting the human anatomy. Thus, if the frequency of human energy field can be altered, then a person can live a healthy life. This restoration of the human energy back to its normal order later grew up as Reiki. Reiki is a self-practice which acts as one of the complementary therapies among the individuals. The art of healing with Reiki can also be shared with others. It was also known as palm healing, which is regarded as one of the best ways to maintain one's dynamic health pattern, not only physically but also healing one internally. It balances and harmonizes the individuals out of all their pathologies. It is non-invasive and has no side effects. A person who is undergoing any kind of treatment can follow the art of Reiki in order to heal himself or herself within that health regimen. Reiki relieves a person from extreme stress and pain, stimulates relaxation, and releases a person from all the emotional tension, thereby accelerating natural healing among the people. A carefully controlled experiment took place where it was reported that between the years 2006 to 8, stressed out lab rats received healing and they displayed significant reduction of stress level, anxiety, as well as depression responses. New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia University campus, conducted one of the first studies ever performed to determine the effectiveness of Reiki treatments on the autonomic nervous system. This blind random study included a Reiki treatment group, a sham treatment group, and a control group. The testing began with all participants at baseline autonomic nervous system level. The results within the Reiki treatment group showed a lowering of these levels, including heart rate, respiration, and blood pressure. These positive results led the team to recommend further, larger studies to look at the biological effects of Reiki treatment. According to Homotherapy International, a popular web portal, Homa is a Sanskrit word used here synonymously with yajna. Yajna is the technical term from the Vedic science of bioenergy, denoting the process of removing the toxic conditions of the atmosphere through the agency of fire. This means healing and purifying the atmosphere with fire as the medium. The central idea in homotherapy is you heal the atmosphere and the healed atmosphere heals you. Simple things that you do have a great effect on the atmosphere. Burning generates energy. Man has known this for thousands of years, but it helps generate even more subtle energies. By putting certain materials such as medicinal herbs, for example, into specially prepared fires accompanied by certain word combinations, it is possible to remove toxic conditions from the atmosphere, thereby healing and purifying it. That healing effect is then passed on to all life forms which are sustained by that atmosphere. This is home therapy. The Vedas are the most ancient body of knowledge known to mankind and describe several sciences including bioenergy, psychotherapy, medicine, agriculture, biogenetics, climate engineering, and interplanetary communication. Of all the homofire practices given in the Vedas, the basic one is known as Agnihotra, which is turned to the biorhythm of a sunrise or sunset. Homotherapy also boosts one's health if one is suffering from any health pathologies. A few diseases can be healed through homotherapy. Allergy can be healed by drinking Agnihotra wheatgrass juice 4 times a day and by avoiding any animal protein. Eye problem can be cured by applying Agnihotra eye drop 3 times a day in each eye and then rubbing 1 drop on the skin below the eye. Diarrhea can be cured by taking Agnihotra ash powder after each bowel movement. Skin problem can be healed by applying Agnihotra ash powder 3 times a day. Therefore, the science of homotherapy is indeed one of the traditional methods of healing that is sprawling up in the lives of human beings in the 21st century. According to A. McElroy in his work Medical Anthropology is the study of human health and disease, healthcare systems and biocultural adaptation. The discipline draws upon the 4 fields of anthropology to analyze and compare the health of regional populations and of ethnic and cultural enclaves, both prehistoric and contemporary. Collaboration among paleopathologists, human biologists, ethnologists and linguists has created a field that is autonomous from any single subdiscipline with strong potential for integration of physical and cultural anthropology. The field is also highly interdisciplinary, linking anthropology to sociology, economics and geography, as well as to medicine, nursing, public health, and other health professionals. Since the mid-1960s, medical anthropology has developed 3 major orientations. Medical ecology views population as biological as well as cultural units and studies interactions among ecological systems, health, and human evolution. Ethnomedical analysis focuses on cultural systems of healing and the cognitive parameters of illness. Applied medical anthropology deals with intervention, prevention, and policy issues and analyzes the socio-economic forces and power differentials that influence access to care. In this triad, cultural anthropology is mostly allied with ethnomedicine. Quoting from the work of A. McElroy, it was noted that George M. Foster and Barbara Gallatin Anderson traced the development of medical anthropology to 4 distinct sources: the interest of early physical anthropologists in human evolution and adaptation, ethnographic interest in primitive medicine, studies of psychiatric phenomenon in the culture and personality school, and anthropological work in international health. William H.R. Rivers, a physician, is considered the first ethnologist of known Western medical practices. Early theoretical work by Forrest A. Clements and Erwin H. Ackernext also attempted to systematize primitive medical beliefs and practices. Paralleling theory development were early applications of anthropological principles to health problems. Since the 1940s, anthropologists have helped healthcare providers understand cultural differences in health behaviors, as shown in Benjamin D. Poff's edited volume Health Culture and Community, Case Studies of Public Reactions to Health Programs, one of the first medical anthropology tests. William Caudle was the first to identify the field, followed by review articles by Stephen Polgar and by Norman Scotch. Academics, applied scientists and clinicians enthusiastically worked in the 1960s to organize the emerging social science in medicine movement at the national meetings of the American Anthropological Association and the Society for Applied Anthropology. There are 3 dimensions of medical anthropology. Firstly, one of the prime concepts in medical ecology is adaptation. The changes, modifications, and variations that amplifies the chances of survival, reproductive success, and overall well-being in an environment. Alexander Allen Jr. was one of the first to apply the concept of adaptation to medical anthropology. Humans adapt through genetic change, physiological responses, short-term or developmental, cultural knowledge and practices, and individual coping mechanisms. A basic premise is that health is a measure of environmental adaptation and disease indicates disequilibrium. A second premise is that the evolution of disease parallels human biological and cultural evolution. The risks faced by people differ from those of agricultural groups and industrial societies, and the epidemiological profile of each subsistence type is a function of human relations with the environment and with other species in the ecosystem, especially food sources, domesticated animals, and pathogens. Medical ecology, unlike other orientations, assume that biomedical disease categories are universal. Disease rates can be measured, compared through time and across geographic space, and correlated with changes in settlement patterns and subsistence. The frequencies of hemoglobin types can be measured and mapped geographically in relation to the incidence of infectious diseases such as malaria. The impact of diseases of contact such as malaria, smallpox, and tuberculosis on the native populations of the New World can be studied historically. Secondly, ethnomedicine and ethnomedical studies points on the cultural systems of healing and the cognitive limits of illness. The ethnomedical perspective focuses on health beliefs and practices, cultural values, and social roles. Originally limited to the study of primitive or folk medicine, ethnomedicine has come to mean the health maintenance system of any society. Health ethnographies encompass beliefs, knowledge, and values of specialists and lay people, the roles of healers, patients or clients, and family members, the implements, techniques, and pharmacopoeias of specialists, legal and economic aspects of health practices, and symbolic and interpersonal components of the experience of illness. Conciliation of the meaning of illness, managing of illness, and disability also take place in a social as well as cognitive medium. Healing is arbitrated by symbols and practices that bring on conditioned neurophysiological in addition to immune system responses. The placebo effect of the healer's behavior and symbols to stimulate healing or to reduce stress is of prime importance in ethnomedical studies. Cultural psychiatry is closely associated with ethnomedicine. Countless folk illnesses or culture-bound syndromes such as Sasto, hysteria, or amok come into view to be psychogenic. Although environmental stressors play a function in their commencement. Ethnographic methods are primary in nature. Researchers generally carry on with participant observation and many times becomes apprentices of healers along with midwives. Interviews as well as life histories permit in-depth scrutiny of the lives of healers and patients. And medical discourse analysis is a specialized linguistic technique that studies the negotiation of meaning and power. A key concept in ethnomedicine is explanatory model. Introduced by Arthur Kleinman, explanatory model are notions about the causes of illness, diagnostic criteria, and treatment options. In a clinical encounter, the explanatory models held by practitioners, patients, and family often differ. The ensuing communication and negotiation of decision for managing illness lead to the cultural construction of illness. Thirdly, applied medical anthropology explores the theories of cultural patterning of health behavior and can be applied in any arena. Critical clinical medical anthropology is an adjunct of political economy. This approach analyzes biomedical practice and the differentials in power and authoritative knowledge of practitioner and patient. Clinical anthropology has been influenced by Michel Foucault's writings on the historical production of medical knowledge and the notion that the body has become an arena in which social control issues are played out. Applied anthropology methods are eclectic, ranging from qualitative to highly quantitative. Ethnographers have developed rapid assessment techniques to document community health needs during brief field trips. Others trained in public health, epidemiology, nursing, or medicine may do clinical or laboratory procedure or work with vital statistics. In quantitative approaches, rigorous attention is paid to sampling issues and sophisticated statistical analysis, and informed consent procedures are followed. Let us now look into how anthropology looks at the dimension of illness in the society. Disease is an objectively measurable pathological condition of the body. In contrast, illness is a feeling of not being normal and healthy. Illness may, in fact, be due to disease. There are two dimensions in anthropology that explains the cause of illness. Naturalistic explanation. The naturalistic explanation assumes that illness is only due to impersonal, mechanistic causes in nature that can be potentially understood and cured by the application of the scientific method of discovery. Personalistic explanation. Today it is mostly found among people in small-scale societies and some subcultures of larger nations. For them, illness is seen as being due to acts or wishes of other people or supernatural beings and forces. In personalistic medical system, spirit possession, loss or damage are seen as the result of actions by supernatural beings or people. Thus, explanation of illness holding the anthropological dimension can be numerous. A nosology is one dimension of a broader medical system which consists of a society's system of ideas, values and ways of doing things. Nosologies of three different societies will be portrayed below. The Subanun. It is known as the Pagan population. Their main habitat is in the mountainous region on the Philippine island of Mindanao. Subanun do not have any special designated clinicians or healer. The people mainly go in for herbal or other treatment. Charles Flake studied the Subanun life in the 1960s, who reported that after legal matters and the plant life of the environment, sickness is the third most common topic of conversation among the Subanun. Subanun use diagnosis to select among 724 botanical medicines for treatment and among 61 named offerings made to propitiates, supernatural beings. The Dembu spirits also pervade the world of sickness of the Dembu, a tribal people of Zambia. Victor Turner studied this group and its rituals related to sickness. They regard sickness as a misfortune. It also includes bad luck in hunting, reproductive disorders, physical accidents, and the loss of property. They do not distinguish the natural from the supernatural conditions. He studied and described 22 examples of Dembi diagnostic categories and their respective therapies. Western societies are mainly assumed to be as rational and systematic in nature. It is based on empirical and inductive reasoning. Its nosology is formally codified in the International Classification of Diseases, which is now known as the ICD-9. This includes places where 999 conditions of diseases are listed. It starts from cholera. Diseases come and change and go in succeeding editions of the ICD. Therefore, a society in which sickness is thought to be defined and caused by anatomical and physiological alterations focuses on these physical features of people in seeking prevention or cure by establishing noted organizations. Sir James Frazer was a sociologist who hailed from Scotland. His best-known work, The Golden Bough, a study in comparative religion, traced the evolution of human behavior, ancient and primitive myth, magic, religion, ritual, and taboo. According to Frazer, the belief of human beings passes through three stages: primitive magic, which is replaced by religion, and thereby it is replaced by science. Quoting his words on religion, we can see that by religion then I understand a propitiation or conciliation of powers superior to man, which are believed to direct and control the course of nature and of human life. Thus defined, religion consists of two elements, a theoretical and a practical, namely a belief in powers higher than men and an attempt to propitiate or please them. Of the two, belief clearly comes first, since we first believe in the existence of a divine being before we can attempt to please him. He mentioned in his book The Golden Bough that in ancient Egypt the magicians claimed the power of compelling even the highest gods to do their bidding, and even threatened them with destruction in case of disobedience. Many people who thus fall sick or wounded goes to seek the blessings of the religious heads, who claims to possess the power to heal them by mediating with the supernatural power. Therefore, healing acts as a certain kind of protection, which is provided to the people by those who are believed to possess healing powers. Bronislaw Malinowski was a Polish anthropologist, one of the most important 20th century anthropologists. One of the seminal works of Malinowski is Magic, Science and Religion, where according to him, religion is not born out of speculation or reflection, still less out of illusion or misapprehension, but rather out of the real tragedies of human life, out of the conflict between human plans and realities. Magic might be defined as the ritual which is closely associated with practical activities, hunting, fishing, husbandry. Then religion would be the ritual which is not associated with practical activities. For instance, the Mass of Catholic Church is not so associated. Malinowski put even more stress on individual emotional states by arguing that some rituals, example magical, as opposed to religious ones, have the practical effect of alleviating anxiety distress, fear, doubt, and sorrow. Significantly, he differentiated between the individual character of religious experience and the social character of religious ritual. In his analysis, he linked myth to magic and religion, not as an explanation but as evidence of the authenticity of the magical act and the religious dogma. To Malinowski, therefore, religion originated out of the daily activities and needs of men. Healing strategies have been developed by the people in order to satiate the needs of men through the spiritual life. Radcliffe Brown, an English social anthropologist of the 20th century, developed a systematic framework of concepts and generalization relating to the social structures of pre-industrial societies and their functions. He sought a more systematic correlation between religious ideas and social structure, theorizing that if the image of God is a collective representation or projection of the social group, then different forms of social organization will have different self-reflective notions of God. In the words of Brown, healing practices are connected and associated in the society since the time that belongs to the primitive ages. The people adopted these practices in order to adjust themselves with the changing times. Healing is thus sought for by the members of the society in order to adjust themselves with the present social condition. Therefore, the present module dealt with the notion of healing perspective from science and religion. The dimensions that are made is mainly as per the anthropological view. Anthropology deals with the study of origin of human beings and their related cultures. People have developed their cultures related to health and healing since time unknown. Scientific studies are growing at a faster pace in this modern century, by which people as well as researchers are convinced of the fact that spirituality, belief in religion, as well as notions on healing are indeed ways of promoting the health of the individuals. Thank you.